and welcome back to the Labyrinth of Grisaia, Yumiko's route, or ending if you'd like. Last time, Yuuji was concerned with what was happening to Yumiko, and Yumiko tried in a way to repay her classmates for their understanding of her causing all the trouble that actually leads to the Mihammer Academy being shut down and all the students being transferred elsewhere. Though the lessons were of varying degree of success, with particularly Michiru's Sundara session not going particularly well. However, she managed to get through and Yumiko managed to get through and tried her best Sundara act out on Yuuji, who got taken completely on the wrong side of the bed by it. So in that regard, it worked. But whether it brought out Yumiko's cute side, we'll leave that up to time to tell. Let's continue. Wake up, Yuuji. Yuuji. Yumiko. Good morning. You awake now? Oh, it's you, JB. We'll be arriving at the company in about 5 minutes, so get straightened up while you can. Right. Sluggishly leaning forward in my seat, I tighten up my tie. The reason JB and I are headed into the office today has to do with the year I spent on the run with Yumiko. Ordinarily, an act of disobedience to that grave would have gotten me re-educated or disposed of entirely, but instead I was actually permitted to return to the service in the reserve. From what JB tells me, I was specifically pardoned by a certain big shot with some real influence. Not that I really care about the details. All that matters is that they decided I still have some worth as a tool. At this point, I just need to go through some formalities before they put me back to work. You murmured Yumiko's name when I tried to wake you up. Are you worried about leaving her alone? Well, the girl's not exactly used to housework, but I'm hardly worried about leaving her in the dorm for a single day. On the other hand, if I continue in this line of work, I might end up causing her some real anxiety down the line. Want to try to submitting your resignation? What? Kind of surprising to hear you bring that up, even as a joke. Look, it's not like I enjoy sending you off on these jobs, you know? Right. Sorry. Even in a shady line of work like ours, people do have their principles. Some pick up their guns for the sake of those they love. Some tap at their keyboards because they genuinely want a peaceful world. There are a few guys who throw themselves into life and death conflicts just for the fun of it, but they're much less common than you might think. And in any case, the way we do our work is already beginning to change. You're talking about the UAVs? Yes, on the battlefields of the future, the use of easily controlled unmanned vehicles will likely become increasingly common. Makes sense. No matter how well you train them, a soldier's still human. Sometimes they panic in the field. Sometimes they stop moving because they're injured or sick. If you're looking to reduce those risk factors, remote-controlled robots might be an efficient solution. Still, even at this stage, there's some real concern that it encourages collateral damage by making it too easy to pull the trigger. I don't think there's much point preaching about weight of a human life to someone who's never crawled through the mud or felt the heat of a gun barrel. True enough, humans and machines both have their upsides and downsides. The room was simply unbeatable. In response to an inquiry about my usual cleaning methods, I offer an immediate and forceful answer. Although Yuuji went out this morning for a work-related meeting, I've remained behind in the dormitory for another day of lessons from my classmates. At the moment, I'm being questioned by Makina-san, my first lecturer of the day. By Rumbo, you're referring to the autonomous vacuuming robot? Yes, until I ran off a year ago, I almost left the cleaning of my room in its capable hands. I mostly left the cleaning of my room in its capable hands. In other words, you're saying that nothing compares to cutting-edge technology? Exactly. Unlike more traditional methods, the Roomba doesn't require any direct human intervention, allowing us to use our time more productively. And what's more, they're planning an update that will allow you to program an entire week's schedule in advance. Before long, everyone will bow down before its prowess. However, only the top-of-the-line model will be able to use that scheduling function, correct? Well, yes, so that's the one to buy. Believe me, they're well worth it. I heard it has difficulty avoiding walls to table legs if they are painted a dark color. That's also true, but if you help it navigate using the invisible wall accessories... What? Oh, Sachi does not like robots. What happens if your room gets so filthy that the robot's unable to move? Well, I guess you'd clean up manually until it isn't getting stuck. If you're putting that much effort into automating the process, I think it might be faster just to do it yourself. Yes, it is the most versatile of appliances. Sometimes it gets a little lost on its way back to the charger too. But that neatness is part of what makes it so cute. Even the domestic feline acknowledges its charm. Do a search for videos using the terms Roomba and cat. You'll know exactly how I feel. Do you really like the Roomba that much? Yes, if I weighed a little bit less, I'd definitely ride around with one. Definitely. Sakaki-san, riding a cleaning robot? Oh, you can even see Sachi blushing. She's got that image imprinted on her mind. I don't know why, but the chibi moments just get me every time, and here I was even expecting it to come. Amazing, you're truly amazing, Roomba. You don't miss a beat even when your 40-something kilo girl is on top of you. Wow. Does she consider that as much? With you on my side, I'm not afraid of anything, even going into the adults-only section of the local bookstore. Oh man, I'm getting fired up now. Charge, Roomba! Sakaki Yumiko coming through! Haha, silly me! Whee! What a nightmarish spectacle. What are you talking about? Oh, pardon me, just talking to myself. I get the idea you just imagined something exceptionally rude, but I suppose I'll let it be. Your discretion is most appreciated. In any case, now that I've heard all this in your own words, it's quite clear to me that you're living a remarkably decadent lifestyle. Decadent? What's wrong with taking advantage of modern conveniences? I see, so you sold your soul to the robot, Sakaki-san. Really, it's nothing out of the... Alright, Roomba confiscated. Ah! My Roomba! Come now, you don't need to look at me like a grade schooler who's just had their video game console properly unplugged. Once you've learned to adequately clean up in your own right, I will of course return your robot. You're just as harsh and educate you as Amane, I see. Well, now that we've dispensed with that interloper, let's get down to business. You're giving it back eventually, right? Now then, while the two of you were on the run, I'm sure you didn't have a robot to clean for you, correct? Correct. When Yuuji and I were living in our apartment, I did try to use a normal vacuum cleaner. But though things have cords, you know, I always end up tripping over it or catching it on the furniture. Fell flat on your face, did you? Yes, you don't see many women who can't use a vacuum cleaner these days, right? Feel free to laugh. In that case, please allow me to punch you, lightly. Why? I'm sure Kasami-san comforted you after every one of those failures you mentioned, did he not? Well, Yuuji's a kind person, so... From your tone of voice, I suspect it may have involved a bit of kissing and such. I couldn't say. That never happened, I suppose. I do believe a punch is in order, if I may. I still don't understand why. I do apologize, it's just that you began boasting most brazenly in the middle of my lesson. What? You're the one who asked me about all that, remember? Ah, come to think of it, you're right. I'm such a forgetful girl. Oh, she was just looking to actually punch Sakaki. I see your sense of humor is as questionable as ever, Kamina-san. Anyway, while I've been speaking poorly of machines up until this point, I won't deny your statement regarding their value. Some stains simply can't be scrubbed away by human hands alone, for example. I often make use of tools such as modern steam cleaner. I'm not surprised in that case. However, human beings do possess one thing that machines do not. Something people have, but machines don't. I refer, of course, to devotion. Devotion? Over the course of our lesson today, I would like to provide you with an education regarding this trait. Alright, I'm sure I have quite a lot to learn, but I'll do the best I can. Indeed, please leave everything to me. Oh, Sachi. That's a pretty adorable look. Sakagi as a maid? Probably no one expected that to happen in the first fruit of Grisaia. Care to explain why I'm wearing this outfit? Our ancestors left these wise words for posterity. You have to look the part before you learn it. Isn't that completely backward? Not at all. It's no exaggeration to say that dressing myself in this maid uniform was key to my awakening as a service professional. That does sound fairly convincing when it's coming from you. Incidentally, Sakagi-san, I had that outfit ordered specifically in your size. Please consider it a present. I appreciate the thought, but I doubt I'll ever wear this on my own initiative. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Huh? I've actually suspected for quite some time that Kasami-san may have something of a fetish for maid outfits. If he should witness his beloved Sakagi-san in such attire, well, what? Things might get more than a little sticky? Well, alright, I suppose it's important to keep up appearances. Ah, that's Mishima's most repressed pervert for you, as easily manipulated as your average middle schooler. Did you just say something? Oh no, nothing at all. Anyway, what were you planning to have me do today? For starters, I was thinking you might get a little hands-on experience by sweeping the courtyard. I see, hence the broom and maid outfit? Indeed, using a broom is the most fundamental of cleaning techniques, so it's an excellent way to evaluate someone's habits and abilities. Come to think of it, Amanda said she knew my skill level from the moment I picked up my knife. I suppose even the smallest details can be quite telling for a true master. On a somewhat related note, in order to provide you with more helpful advice, I would like to know what you consider to be your special skill, Sakagi-san. My special skill? Indeed, once you've mastered something in particular, it's often possible to apply that knowledge in the pursuit of other skills. For example, perhaps you've noticed that many professional baseball players are also quite talented at golf. In other words, you want to provide me with advice tailored to my existing expertise. Exactly so. But a special skill? Don't overthink this. What was the first thing that comes to mind? Well, I suppose draining the water from Oyan Yakisoba? But your success rate is only 80% or so, right? I believe Michiro-sama managed just as well, if not better. I was vaguely aware of this already, but hearing that I'm worse than Matsushima-san is more painful than I expected. Is there really nothing else? Money, maybe? Right, I've got a bit more cash than most people. Sakagi-san. I'm sorry, that was a slip of the tongue. Alright, I'll pretend I'll never heard it. Thank you. Fortunately, we're not exactly pressed for time today, so let's take this one step at a time. Right, I very much appreciate that, actually. Let's regroup, shall we? I'll begin by teaching you the most important thing of all, the mindset with which to approach your cleaning. What mindset? There's one phrase you must keep in mind at all times. Search and destroy. Search and destroy? What is this, a war? Not exactly, but the longer trash and grime are left unchecked, the more troublesome it becomes to clean up later on, correct? Sure, when winter comes around, the academy pool seems to fill up with trash and leaves awfully quickly. And so, where cleaning is concerned, you absolutely mustn't allow yourself to put things off. I suppose you're right. By keeping this in mind as you clean, you'll also begin to see the tales behind the trash. Pardon me? For example, you see that wrapper caught in the branches of that tree, yes? Sure. That would be the wrapper of a popsicle Michiru-sama recently consumed. Just from looking at that garbage, you can already tell whose it is. What's more, that isn't garbage she simply tossed carelessly aside. She was trying to bring it back to her room when the wind blew it from her hands. She hopped up and down and did a desperate attempt to reclaim it, but her strength eventually failed her and she was forced to tearfully abandon her efforts. It almost sounds like you saw that happen. If you require proof, please look at the base of the tree, where she dropped the stick from a popsicle while jumping up for the wrapper. It's really there. Every piece of trash has its own dramatic past. Doesn't the thought of it make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside? Well, I'm not sure about that, but either way, I'm quite convinced you're no ordinary woman. Now that you understand I'm not merely wearing this maid outfit for show, let's transition to some practical training. First of all, I'd like to evaluate your skill level. Please begin actually sweeping the ground. Alright then. Well, was that good enough? Yes, thank you very much. Your movements are a bit awkward, which is natural given your experience, but I'm relieved to see you don't have any bad habits. So, do you think I might be able to improve? Of course you can, however growth always comes at a price of effort. On that note, I'll give you further advice as we attempt to an actual cleaning of the courtyard. Please follow me. No shortcuts to success, eh? I suppose cleaning is the same as cooking in that regard. Alright, we've now cleaned the courtyard in its entirety. Might I have your thoughts on the experience? To be perfectly honest, my arms are aching. Not surprising. It's easy to use too much force at first when you're focused on making things as clean as possible, and that does take a toll on your muscles. But once you get used to it, you'll learn to moderate your movements, reducing the strain on your arms. I think it's going to take quite a while before I get to that level. Wow. Oh, that cat. Ah, I believe that would be Kitty Meow, the feline Michiru-sama is so fond of. I've seen it around a few times before, so it's Matsushima's pet? Matsushima-san's pet, is it? To be more precise, Michiru-sama simply feeds Kitty Meow when he stops by to visit. He is not exactly her pet. Is that so? Meow, meow. Oh, it curled up under that bench. Yes, Kitty Meow tends to take a nap under that bench nearly every afternoon. I see. He certainly looks comfortable down there, doesn't he? Only because you worked so hard to clean up this courtyard, Sakaki-san. Huh? Cats are very sensitive to changes in their environment. When someone other than me cleans this courtyard, he usually heads home without taking his nap. The fact that he's curled up like that means that he can see how hard you worked today, Sakaki-san. Given that we are only human beings, our strengths and weaknesses will always be reflected in the outcome of our work. However, there's something more that we can convey to those we labor for. Namely, devotion? Exactly so. Whatever the results may be, they don't change the fact that you've devoted yourself to a task on the behalf of someone else. And so, no matter how badly you fail at your housework, Kasami-san will be pleased all the same. You're right. All the more reason to learn how to succeed. I'm quite willing to assist you in that regard. Thank you, Kumine-san. Of course. Incidentally, there's a small favor I wanted to ask you. Oh, but at present I believe obtaining Kasami-san's freshly used undergarment would be easier for you than me. What? I didn't say anything about that. I see. Photographs of his sleeping face, then? It's not that either. Then, if you ever need any assistance cleaning up the academy, I'd like you to come to me for help. Huh? I know I've only done this once, but I think I understand now. You make your cleaning look like it's the easiest thing in the world, but It's really a great deal of work, isn't it? And you would like to assist me? Yes. Given my current level of skill, I doubt I'll be much help, but at the very least I can keep you company. Certainly. Since you're kind enough to offer, I'll be sure to invite you from now on. Right, I'll do my very best. To tell you the truth, there's something I've been wanting to ask you for quite some time now. There is? Yes, I'm curious why you decided to learn more about the things you're least proficient at. I see, well... Before I met Yuuji, I'd given up on everything. No matter what I did, no matter how I tried, all my efforts came to nothing in the end. There was no reason to struggle. Then. It only made my inevitable failures all the more painful. That was how I saw things, and it worked well enough when I was alone. But then Yuuji chose me. I regretted the fact that I'd ever been born, but he said he was grateful to have met me. That made me very happy. And precisely because I was happy, it pained me to know that I couldn't be of any help to Yuuji. If only I were Amane, or Komina's-san. I don't know how many times such thoughts ran through my mind. And that's why I decided to change myself. I want to be capable of helping others, as they've helped me. I want to spoil Yuuji the way he spoiled me. I'll do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. No matter how clumsy and ignorant I may be, I simply won't give up. Not this time. Not after Yuuji showed me how to stand defiant in the face of adversity.
What in the hell, Takagi Yumiko? Wipe that slack-jawed look off your pasty face. It ain't like you just had your cherry pop this morning for crying out loud.
Then again, all the determination in the world might not do me much good with Irisu-san.
Oh, come on. I'm just trying to get you in the mood, alright? Work with me here. Why don't you?
But isn't this supposed to be a lesson on how to be affectionate? Why exactly are you shouting, "Come at me, punk"?
You wanna know, huh? You really wanna know?
Yes, it's affecting my motivation to continue, so I really would appreciate an answer.
Okay then, I'll give you the short version. If you wanna get affectionate with Unichan, you gotta learn how to land your hook.
How to land my hook?
I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about here, Jimmy-chan. When he hits you right in the baby maker with his sweet talking and you try to throw himself into his arms, half the time that guy just steps right out of your path.
Now that you mention it, it's pretty rare for him to readily accept a hug. Actually, I've once tried to surprise him with an embrace from behind, but he just looked at me blankly and asked if I was practicing a sumo move.
I know, right? So if you want to get all lovey-dovey with a dude like that, you gotta learn the skills, specifically how to launch an ugly unavoidable hug.
You've certainly thought this through, Irisu-san.
Hehehe, women can't just sit around waiting with their mouth open these days, Richard.
For some reason, your pointless intensivity is giving me déjà vu.
Unichan's been a bad influence on me, you know?
Now it all makes sense.
Anywho, it's way better to actually give this stuff a try instead of listening to lectures. So, first of all, I wanted to see what you can do in the grappling department.
Oh, is that what it is?
Now that we clear that up. Come at me however you want, punk!
Alright, I'm a bit reluctant to throw myself at someone of your stature, but I suppose training is training.
Indeed, no need to hold back. Hit me with everything you got.
Okay then, here I come.
Whoop! Whoa! Whoa!
What's going on here? Just as I'm about to grab you disappear.
That's because I'm using my slide step to move outside your field of focus.
My field of focus?
I'm just Onichan's apprentice, and you can't even catch me. Launching a frontal attack on the man himself just ain't gonna work, you see.
I was afraid you'd say that.
And that's where my mega secret anti-Onichan surefire technique comes in.
That sounds a little fishy. Is there really a surefire way to do this?
Yep. Once you get the hang of this, it doesn't matter if you're the world's frailest little girl. You'll be leaping with ease into anyone's chest. I refer, of course, to the deadly slide dash technique. Yes, why do I have to help out with the groceries anyway? that's just the way it goes. Yuuji's up today, and Makina's in the middle of a lesson with Yumiko. You could have asked Sachi then. I had some important thumb twiddling in my schedule today, you know? That doesn't sound too pressing. Look, I brought you that ice cream as a reward, right? Huh? Wait. Is this the price you put on my liver? What? Talk about cheap. Oh, come on. It's a nice change of pace, right? I had fun shopping with you, personally. Where did that come from? You're not gonna pull the wool over my eyes that easily. Wait! Where am Makina and Sachi anyway? Shouldn't the afternoon lecture be just about over by now? Speak of the devil, isn't that the two of them over there? What? Phew. First, slide dash right into Nichin's arms. Oh, that got me. Whew. Everything in this. Yuuji, now make a goofy sound effect. Squeeze. Nice. Finish him off with a pleating puppy dog combo. Go. Today's a safe day for me. Yeah, hallelujah, Yumi-chan. If I was a dude, I'd be ponying up for an extra overnight stay right about now. Really? Yep, let's see if you can pull that off one more time, okay? Hola! Amani, I totally understand why'd you drop your shopping bags in shock, but we really need to go now. They're going to pull us into this if we make eye contact. Right. I'd love to see that, but... It feels like I'm starting to get the hang of this. What do you think? Not bad. If you practice a little more, your precision will start improving big time. I'll do my best. Hold on a moment, my phone's ringing. Who's calling you? Some scanners to get your info from one of them porn sites you're already visiting? It's Yuuji. He must have finished up his business with Qa'Rajh-san. Okay, Yumi-chan. You just keep practicing. I'll take the call for you. Wait! It is I.
I called this number expecting to speak with Yumiko.
Pretty good imitation, right?
Of who?
Bwah! Whoopsie daisy! I forgot to explain the character I was doing there.
You can tell me all about that some other time, Makina. I'm more interested in why you are answering Yumiko's phone.
Allow me to clarify. Yumi-chan's in the middle of training right now, so I picked up the phone for her.
I see. Glad to hear she's working hard.
Anywho, what did you need, Yumi-chan? I'll pass on a message if you want.
Okay then, I finished up here, so I should be back at the dome in about an hour. Can you let her know?
Roger that.
That's all I really needed.
Okay then, hurry back home, okay? Don't start groping that blonde juicy behind or something like that.
Right. With a small sigh, I closed my cell phone and slid it into the pocket of my pants. Was that Makina you were speaking with? Yeah. She wanted me not to grope you behind.
Excuse me?
I don't really get it either, but I guess she was putting in a word on Yumiko's behalf. In that case, we should get you home right away. I'll drive you to the dome. Sorry to make you go out of your way. JB really is a nice boss, isn't she? Yuuji. In order to avoid any possible trouble, I get out of JB's car, away from the academy, and walk up to the gates. Yumiko's waiting outside. When she spots me, she immediately begins to run in my direction. From the looks of things, she intends to leap into my arms, but once I realize that, I can't help wanting to tease her a little. Obeying my instincts, I prepare to execute a quick sidestep, just as Yumiko's about to envelop me in a passionate embrace, but at the very last moment, she abruptly vanishes from view. What? Ugh. In the next instant, something rams into my body with all the power of a runaway racehorse. I did it! It actually worked! The air has been knocked out of my lungs. Struggling to stay conscious, I let my eyes turn downward, and find a head full of glossy black hair pressed up against my chest. That was a slide dash. Since when was Yumiko capable of that? Unfortunately, I'm not able to vocalize the question. Stunned by the unexpected blow, I slowly slump forward against Yumiko.
Well, it isn't every day you make the first move, Yuuji.
This girl doesn't even realize what she's done to me.
I'm happy though.
Clearly misunderstanding the situation, Yumiko blushes bashfully and buries her face in my chest. Once I regain control of my body, I quickly pull back to a more normal posture.
Welcome home, Yuuji.
Right. As soon as this somewhat belated greeting leaves her mouth, Yumiko goes right back to nuzzling her face against me.
Yuuji.
Yep.
This is the scent of the man I love. The man who made me his woman. Oh dear, I think I could do this for hours.
You really don't hold back, do you? It's almost like I'm dealing with Amane.
Excuse me, Yuuji? Isn't it a little rude to mention another woman's name right now?
Well, maybe, but what with the sniffing and all, I think it's a pretty natural comparison.
I suppose I'll forgive you. You're being very kind today, after all.
I'm glad you're not upset, but what was that slide dash just now? Since when could you do that?
Ah yes, Iri-Susan taught me that in her lecture today.
Are you serious?
Yes, she said it was a surefire technique for landing a hug on you. If Makina was teaching you that...
No, wrong voice. If Makina was teaching you that, her lesson must have been...
Iri-Susan's topic was how to be affectionate.
Oh, so that's how it is. It was nerve-wracking enough when I heard she was studying Sundara techniques from Michiru, but of course in affection from Makina of all people?
I do think I'll have to thank her later. This technique truly is marvelous. I think a lecture may have been the single most helpful so far.
Good for you, I guess. Yumiko murmurs to herself with a perfectly serious expression on her face, feeling the beginnings of a headache coming on. I turn my eyes upward and gaze off into the distance.
A good man needs to know when to give up, Oni-chan. Huh? Iri-Susan? Women like her are a pain in the butt. They're not used to showing affection, so once they go dare, they'll knock your freaking socks off.
I see. Yep, can't say you're wrong. For one thing, Yumiko doesn't show her true self except when we are alone together. It probably makes the gap between her two personalities all the more pronounced.
How long have you been there? Huh? What you talking about, Yuuji? After that phone call, we decided to wait for Oni-chan together.
So we did come to think of it. I was so busy indulging myself that I forgot all about my classmate. What an embarrassing person I am.
What cause is there for shame? Huh? The whole reason I taught you that slide dash is so you could get all lovey-dovey with Oni-chan, you know? You took your training seriously and successfully won Oni-chan's love and embrace. There's no reason for anyone to laugh at you.
Iri-Susan.
You did good today, Yuuji.
Forgetting about me entirely, the two of them gaze at each other with glistening eyes, and as if to confirm their newfound friendship, they reach out for a firm handshake.
That's it. Next time, try not to get all horny in public. Huh? Even I got a little grossed out there, you know.
I see. I suppose I was a fool to have revised my opinion of you, Iri-Susan. Well, I can't say that I'm surprised it ended up like this. Yumiko's armor is full of chinks these days. The others are taking advantage of that for their own amusement, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But even so, I'm glad to see you enjoying yourself, Yumiko.
Enjoying myself? You think I enjoy having Iri-Susan tease me like this?
That's what it looks like to me. Was I wrong?
You think I'm enjoying myself?
Yeah, and I got the same impression watching your lessons yesterday, actually.
Amanda spiced up her lesson with obscene advice. Michiru babbled about absurd nonsense.
But even as Yumiko sighed in exasperation, a part of her was sincerely enjoying it. That's how it looked to me, at least.
I see, so that's how it is.
So that's why I... Apparently oblivious to the fact that I've just admitted to peeking in on her lessons, Yumiko staggers off toward the school building.
Oh? What's wrong with Yuuji? Diarrhea, maybe? Her bowels loosen up all of a sudden?
I think it's more likely that your teasing sent her into a state of emotional shock.
Oh, I did mess with her yesterday too. Maybe I went a little too far this time.
I know the girl leaves herself open to this sort of thing, but she can be surprisingly fragile at times.
Well, now you got me a little worried about her.
Not to worry. I'll go see how she's doing. Once I've given Makina a comforting pat on the head, I hurry after Yumiko. Yama's Academy school building is extravagantly large, given the small number of students enrolled at present, but only a certain portion of it is typically accessible. And when I narrow things down further by considering the places Yumiko might visit, I more or less know where to go. The rooftop. Yep, knew it. Climbing the building stairs to the very top, I ease open the heavy door I find there. Warm sunlight and a brilliant blue sky greets me. It's a scene that brings back some memories, and Yumiko standing quietly in the middle of it. Oh, I knew there was a reason why I picked that as a thumbnail. Which is also why I wanted you to do it now. Figured you might be here. Yuuji. When I speak to her softly, she answers, but she doesn't turn around. I can understand why you'd want to flee up here, but don't hold it against Makina, okay? She feels bad about taking the joke too far. That's unfortunate. I didn't mean to upset Yuuji-san, and it's not really why I'm up here. It isn't? No. What you said just now helped me understand something, Yuuji. Namely, the reason why I asked my classmates for those lectures. What do you mean? Normally, when you're serious about learning something, it's best to find a truly experienced master in that field. I'm sure everyone in this school knows how efficient that method is. Sure enough. But instead of doing that, I decided to learn from my classmates. Of course, that did feel like the proper choice to me. But I couldn't quite put my finger on the reason why I felt that way. What Yumiko's saying is probably the truth. In retrospect, the idea didn't quite make sense from the start. It's natural to prefer a little privacy when you're struggling to overcome your weaknesses. At the very least, you wouldn't want your teacher to be someone who knows you well. But even knowing it would be awkward, Yumiko deliberately chose to learn from her classmates. It seems fair to assume she had another reason for doing so. I think I've always wanted to spend time like this. You have? Yes. I'm talking about chatting idly with a friend as we do something together. I'd get angry when they tease me about my boyfriend, and we'd throw ourselves at something like children and laugh when it's over. The sort of ordinary moments any normal girl would experience. As she speaks these words, Yumiko's voice is incredibly gentle. Deep down inside, she never really wanted to be alone. And because I know this, her words carry all the more weight. I'm a contrary person by nature, so I didn't even realize until now. A contrary person, huh? That's right, I'm a gloomy girl with no friends except my novel and a box cutter, remember? It sounds like Yumiko's putting herself down, but the fact that she's laughing at the person she used to be is proof that she's trying to move forward. A bit relieved despite myself, I wait for her to continue. Facing up to my weaknesses really was challenging, but more than anything else, I had fun. I found quite a lot to talk about with my classmates too. A year ago, I don't think I could have even imagined this. I see. But it also makes me feel a little nervous. I've nearly really felt this happy before, you see. Yumiko realized what it is she wanted, and that knowledge leaves her uncertain. A sudden gust of wind blows by, her skirt flaps and her long black hair sways. It feels like a manifestation of her heart's anxious wavering. Until now, Yumiko's lived in a hollow world where any happiness she found was snatched away from her. The fear she's feeling right now is only natural. But the solution to this problem happens to be surprisingly simple. In that case, just focus on enjoying the present. Enjoying the present? When you're dealing with something you aren't used to, sometimes you get anxious, sometimes you fail. So what? This fear isn't any different from what you experienced in those lessons, as you try to overcome your weaknesses. But even so, there's no second chances if you fail. Right. I don't think that's true. Huh? I know you've had a lot of sudden endings in your life so far, but together we eliminated their root cause. There's no need to shrink in fear at the thought of failure. As long as you keep reaching out to them, you'll have plenty of chances to try again. The present you're living in right now is exactly the one you wanted, Yumiko. So if you're enjoying the time you spent with Amane, Michiru, Makina and Sachi, then there's nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about?
The fact that you're feeling anxious just proves how deeply you've come to care about them. Unfortunately, none of them are the sort to throw in the towel on you over a misstep or two. You know that by now, right?
True enough. If anything, I'm the one who always gave up.
So there you have it. Instead of walking on eggshells all the time, why don't you just do whatever you feel like doing?
Whatever I feel like?
I know you guys aren't the best at communicating, but if you're honestly enjoying your time together, they're gonna know it.
I suppose you might be right. Getting all self-conscious certainly isn't going to help matters. In that case, I might as well focus on being myself.
Yeah, sounds about right. After all, a real friend is someone you can be around without putting on any airs.
But whatever I feel like doing, nothing comes to mind, honestly.
Free of worldly desires, huh? Guess you're more enlightened than I thought.
Well, no, that's not quite it.
What do you mean?
I've already had the chance to do the things I wanted to. You took me to the amusement park that night for one thing, and I've got to experience fireworks as well.
Wait, fireworks?
Yes. You remember during summer vacation last year when we all went to the beach together?
Of course I do, but was playing with fireworks like that something you wanted to do?
Well, to be exact, I was rather fascinated by those flashy shows they put on at night during festivals.
The big displays, huh?
Right. I told you about the way I used to draw pictures in the garden when I was at my grandparents' house, didn't I?
Yeah.
It wasn't any different during the festivals, so I only knew fireworks as far off dots in the sky, with the sound reaching me a moment later. So when I came to school the next day and heard everyone talking excitedly about them, it always made me a little envious. What do fireworks look like up close? Are they really that pretty? Sometimes I'd lie in bed thinking about it for hours on end.
I see.
At this point, the sound of fireworks display mostly reminds me of artillery shells going off in the distance. But when I was young, Kazuki did take me to a show by the river, and I still remember how thrilling it was to feel the power of those explosions. As a child, Yumiko didn't even have the chance to experience that simple pleasure. But really, I was misunderstanding things.
It wasn't the fireworks themselves you were interested in, huh?
That's right. After coming here and playing with fireworks on that beach, I finally figured it out. It wasn't the fireworks display I wanted. It was the experience of enjoying it with friends all around me.
You didn't seem that excited at the time, to be honest.
Well, of course not. Back then, that was the best I could do.
Right. You were in the middle of your Yumiko period of time, I guess.
I would like to be a bit more honest with my feelings from now on, if possible.
Wish you could say that a little more decisively.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
That's so.
Yes, and in any case, as long as I've got you with me, I don't really need anything else.
Oh.
From my position, I can't see the expression of Yumiko's face. But from the tone of her words, I can tell they are not lies of empty flattery. And more than anything else, I want to live up to them. I want to keep that radiant smile on her face.
Alright then. Why don't we go on a sketching trip tomorrow?
Huh?
Now that I think about it, you didn't really get to do much drawing while we were holed up in that apartment together.
That's true. Now that I can go out freely, it'll be much easier to sketch, but what brought this on all of a sudden?
Well, JB was thoughtful enough to get me an actual day off tomorrow. I can spend it entirely with you.
An entire day? With you?
Figured I might as well act like a boyfriend once in a while, so I'm inviting you on a date, basically.
A date?
Okay, why are you blushing? We've done more embarrassing things than this plenty of times already.
That's true, but dates are a special case for women.
I don't quite understand it myself, but I'm not a woman. Suppose I'll have to take Yumiko's word for it. So, anyway, are you willing to indulge me?
Indulge you?
Right. I'm the one who's proposing this date, remember? It's something I want to do.
Yuuji.
That being the case, I'd like to know how my girlfriend feels about it.
I'll go! I wouldn't miss it for the world!
That a fact? Yes, it's settled then.
Why did you take a step back there?
Sorry, your level of enthusiasm slightly alarmed me.
Why would it? I mean, it's your fault I'm acting like this. You barely ever invite me out on dates after all.
True enough, I'll definitely have to work on that.
Right. As for tomorrow's date, why don't you leave everything to me?
Oh, you have something in mind?
Not yet, but I'm going to work out a perfect plan. Don't worry, I'll make sure you won't regret this.
Yumiko.
Could it really hurt to let your girlfriend take the lead every once in a while?
No, I guess not. I'll take you up on that offer then.
Right, thanks, Yuuji. A date, huh? Still, it has been a while since I sketched. Maybe I should practice a little so I don't embarrass myself. Oh, right, might as well pack a lunch too. A picnic by the riverside sounds fun.
Turning quickly away, Yumiko begins muttering to herself in an excited tone of voice. It's like looking at a kid all worked up about their upcoming field trip. I can only hope that tomorrow turns out to be as enjoyable a day as it possibly can be. And that's where we will end this episode. So we shall see how things are going at the... You know what? Let's just keep going with this, because I think this is less of a chapter and more of a direct continuation. I was looking forward to this date so very, very much, and this is how it turns out. But at the least now I finally understand. If Yuuji and I are ever going to enjoy our romance to the fullest, we need to move somewhere far, far away, to some place where the forces of evil can't reach us. Clenching her trembling fist, Yumiko mutters that to herself, with the expression of a woman about to shed bitter tears. If things had gone according to plan, right about now we'd be reminiscing happily about all the fun we had on our date. Instead, we found ourselves here, thanks to what can only be called an unfortunate series of events. Yeah, I think we will call it there and then see what happens in the next episode next time. So, until then, take care!